Hello, hello, it's Annabelle Beckwith here. Now, forward-thinking businesses have over the last few months really begun to recognise that old paradigms of leadership are no longer relevant. Those old frameworks that we used to work with that were very much around skills and knowledge are very, very quickly becoming obsolete. COVID has obviously enough taught us many things. But this is one of them, that leadership now must be around mindset. It must be around clarity of purpose and direction. It must be around resilience. It must be around flexibility, the ability to communicate for connection and to build trust. Factors that, in short, go a lot further beyond and a lot deeper than some of the more surface level transactional organisational KPIs that we're used to seeing. So basically, I have three challenges or three clarion calls, perhaps, to businesses who are genuinely looking to what does leadership need to look like as we move forward into 2021 and beyond, into the new normal, into the world that we are creating as we work forward. So the first thing is stop recycling and start to reinvent. What do I mean by that? Well, what tends to happen as businesses will develop their leadership frameworks and develop their leadership patterns and behaviours is that we will tend to look at what we already have and make incremental changes to that. A lot of the frameworks, the paradigms that we are currently working with in terms of leadership are relics of the 20th century. And those relics of the 20th century are relics of the 19th century, and their origins can very much be found in the Industrial Revolution. We absolutely must move beyond that now. It is no longer time to tweak and amend and incrementally move forward. There needs to be a quantum leap forward. So that's the first thing. Stop recycling, start to reinvent. The second thing is to linked to that perhaps is to really face reality and think what is needed. What is needed, and this is going to mean change. It's going to mean change at all organisational levels. It is going to mean change at a high organisational level, which can be really frightening because, as we know, human beings typically not great with change. Butterflies and frogs, terrific. Human beings, not so much. And yet, change we must, and that is going to take courage. Now, what I'm not implying is that we just jettison everything that we have learned over the last however long. And redefine absolutely everything. It's very much about learn, leverage, or leave. What do we need to learn moving forward? What have we learned over the last few months? What do we need to learn and change moving forward? What are the strengths that we already have that we can leverage moving forward? And what do we need to leave behind because it no longer serves us? And that analysis of learn, leverage, or leave is not a wet finger to the wind exercise. It has to be done with humility, it has to be done with honesty, and it has to be done in a robust manner in order to really, really assess what is going on here. What do we learn? What do we leverage? What do we leave? And the third thing is explore everywhere. Explore everywhere. Oftentimes I find that there's a fear within the business community to look beyond its own walls at where there may be examples of best practice. Well, there are examples of best practice of leadership absolutely everywhere. Look to the orchestra pit, look to the surgeon in the operating theatre, look to people in the emergency services, and you may have seen some of the articles I've written about these particular things. But look everywhere. Look in particular to areas where you were previously afraid to look. Now, as I say that, specifically I have in mind the personal development industry, which many times businesses will go, well, that's a bit woo-woo, that's a bit out there. There are things that have been explored and proven in the personal development industry over the last 50 years. Half a century ago, these things were being talked about, and even before that are absolutely relevant in terms of leadership mindset as we move forward. Factors that I include in my book, Get Your P's in a Row, factors around clarity, around purpose and direction, courage to move forward and make changes, capability, and learning what we need to learn in order to be the leaders of the future, and character, and making a deliberate choice to leave a better legacy for those who come after us. So those are my three clarion calls. Leadership needs to change. Are you prepared to make that change?